extreme weather events have been causing problems this summer in many parts of the world, as we've been reporting. The UK has had its driest 8-month spell since the year 1976, and now limits are being placed on the amount of water that people can use. With heat waves and wildfires across Europe, climate experts say temperatures are rising faster than expected.
Friederike Otto is from the Grantham Institutes for Climate Change and the Environment at Imperial College London. She's been speaking to our business correspondent, Juliette Mann.
The emissions of greenhouse gases in the last decade have risen faster than in the decades before, and so the global temperatures have increased faster in the last decade than in the decades before. So what we are seeing in global temperatures is exactly what we had expected. What that means for heat waves is that every heat wave that is occurring today has been made more likely and more intense because of human-induced climate change. But this change in intensity and likelihood of heat waves is not equal across the globe. But for example, in Europe, we see a much stronger increase than in these and in other parts of the world. And partly this is due to things like in the Mediterranean region, for example, we also have a drying that increases the increase in temperature. Partly this can be explained in some parts through urbanization, but the exact reason for this discrepancy in Europe compared to the rest of the world, we don't know yet. This summer, this northern hemispheric summer, and last year and the year before, we have had many heat waves across Europe, the US, China, Japan. Earlier this year, we had a very large heat wave in India. We never hear about heat waves in Africa, but that's not because they are not occurring, but because they are not reported. So heat waves have increased absolutely dramatically, and they are killers. So heat waves have led to increase in death in Germany in the last 2 years of about 8,000 to 9,000 people. In the UK, in the last few years, it's about 3,000 people. And that's just the places where we do have the numbers. So heat waves are really something we need to take more serious. And we need to decrease our vulnerability to heat waves.
Those numbers that you've just given are pretty stark. So, I mean, are we doomed to more frequent extreme weather events, or are there measures and things that governments, that businesses, that citizens can do?
I think it's really, really important to highlight that we are not doomed. We have all the agency we need to address climate change, but we have to use this agency. So we have to stop as fast as possible to burn fossil fuels so that global temperatures are not rising faster. And we need to adapt to these changes that we see, particularly in heat waves, but also in for example, heavy rainfall events. And adaptation, that's also really important to highlight, doesn't just mean to build a wall. You can't really build a wall against heat, but adaptation means to reduce vulnerability. And that primarily means reducing inequality across our societies globally, but also within every city, every country.